Hi there and welcome to my Monday Live. My name is Paula Reid and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator going by the name of Yellow Bear Stamping. Tonight I'm going to share a card using products from the Fern and Flora Suite. So let's switch down to my desktop and I'll just turn my light around. I'm not quite sure why I was getting the lots of lights before. So this is one of our suites from the new May to August catalogue. Very Kiwi with all the ferns there. Really lovely. Now the paper is lots of different greens. So we've got Old Olive, Mossy Meadow and Peaceful Pine, which is one of the new in colours. And then Golden Glow and Secret Sea, which are also in colours, and then Berry Burst. Now this paper is quite dark with all the different greens, and sometimes that can be, it's kind of like, well, how do I use it when it is quite dark and can be a little bit off-putting. So I want to show you tonight a couple of ways that you can make the paper sort of a bit lighter. So as you join, just leave me a comment to let me know that you are watching and we will get started. So I just need to refresh my screen. Right, so the paper is 12 by 12 and so you can see here it is quite dark. There are some of the lighter colours here with the soft sea foam, but it is quite dark. This one is nice that it's got the Golden Glow, and this one here has got bits of Berry Burst, so it does lighten it. And there's another one that's quite dark. It's a little bit lighter, and then this one here that's got some bright patches, but also there are some dark. So I'll just move that off. So it's on the back of the back side, the B side of the paper, you have got lots of colour with Berry Burst, the Golden Glow, the Night and Navy, which can help to lighten the paper if you sort of mix and match that. So I will just get rid of that to my other desk, the floor. So I have chosen this piece here. It was out of when I was looking for paper to use, this bit here, this moth, was kind of like, I'm not quite sure how I'd use that in a card. So it's actually going to get pretty much covered up. So that's fine. So then what I had on my desk were these images here from the Fern and Flora stamp set. It's this one here that you can die cut and colour in. And so I thought, oh, well, I'll use that can bring in colour on my DSP. Plus, I haven't used these perennial postage dies that much, which have carried over. And so I thought, right, I will pair these up with my with the stamp. So I have got one more, I'll just move that out of the way, one more image that I have stamped, and I started to colour it with my blends so that you're not having ages watching me colour in. Now, because this is a smallish image, I think I've said this before, I'm going to use the bullet end of my stamping blend. And I've actually gone with pumpkin pie. So we will make a start. And so I'm using the light one first. just colour that in. So when it's a smallish image, I find, even though the brush has got a sharpish end, I just find that it's just a bit wide sometimes, so I go for this, the bullet end. There's no right or wrong in the way that you do your colouring. If you want to do light first and then dark, or dark and then light, whoops, the wrong end, then I am just doing that bit there, and that bit there in the dark, and then just the lines on that are already there, just to give a little bit of definition. Yeah, I didn't do that bit. And I'm just going to leave the centre bit white. So when you've got the dark papers, a way to make it a bit lighter is having a bit more white space. Either like this is a die cut, so you've got all this white around here, and then I've putting it onto white postage dies. So there we go. So there's our image coloured. So that was pumpkin pie and old olive blue, using the light and the dark. So I am going to adhere this with a bit of liquid glue onto my postage. So I think that's round about. So by putting that, I'll get my DSP back. So by having that on there, you've got all this white, so it kind of lifts the paper. Plus I'm going to put it onto a white base. Now the other thing that you can do, so before I add those, I've got some strips of the vellum that we have, and so by putting, it's going to come up off the desk, putting some vellum on here, just sort of, it softens and kind of just breaks the harshness of and the darkness of the DSP. So that can be another way of sort of just changing the look. Now with this, it's a little what I'm going to do is pop these on here like this, and so I'm actually only going to the middle one isn't so bad because you've got more that you can put the glue on to adhere it, but with the small strips, and this was just a bit of vellum that I had already cut, and it just that width, and then I had this bit I just cut in half, so it's round about this. It was just a little bit higher than this, so I think it's about a 1 1/8 width. But you can just play with what you what sort of width you want for your project. So I am just going to put a little bit of adhesive. I'm hoping that I'm going to get this in the right place. So we're just going to stick that down. We're going to put that about there. And then, so this is sort of going to be behind of where these bits will go. And then that one will go in the middle. So that's going to go about there. And that will go there. So you don't actually get to sort of see the adhesive, because that will be where these bits go. And so then what I'm going to do is do a squiggle down there. And you can use either the liquid glue, glue dots, or snail. And often what I'll do is put it down and then use an embellishment to cover where I have, no, I didn't bring a ruler over, but do you reckon that's probably about right? Use an embellishment to cover up sort of where you have had glue. So that's another way with when you're doing vellum. So the vellum is available on the online store. I should have got the number, but I'll just take these bits off. Now, hopefully that will stick down. That's one to go in the middle. And I'm just going to place, not actually going to stick it down, put pressure on so that I can make sure that I've got them in the right place. See, like I said, the moth was kind of, didn't really I wasn't that sort of thinking, oh no, how am I going to use this DSP? And then that one can go there, and then that one can go there. Right, so there, that the paper doesn't the glue, so what I did, Deborah, was that I've put it so that it's behind where this image is going to go. Sometimes it will still show, and that's why also then I might, where I'm going to adhere it, I then might place embellishment over the top. So like one of you, a bling or something like that, or a ribbon. If you use the snail, it doesn't show as much. So yeah, so I just wanted it, it's going to be stuck down, it's not going anywhere, and it's still quite nice just to have that being a bit loose, that it doesn't have to be totally stuck down. Now I think my micrometer is not quite right, but that's okay. I'm not going to try pulling it off. But yeah, vellum it's
quite a nice product just to have to use, and I'll show you some other cards where it's been used as well. So then by putting this on a white card base with no other, you could put you know, make this a little bit smaller and then have had some coloured cardstock as a mat, but I just wanted to do it with the white, that it kind of lifts, I feel it lifts it. Then for the inside, I have used the sentiment here, wishing you a day of relaxation, happiness and love, from the Scalloped Blooms bundle. Now this also has the scallop dies, but I haven't used the dies on this yet. So, and I've just done it with the Berry Burst because it's quite a nice colour, and just carrying that through from the front. Done my mat. And then this was, I think that came from that side. I cut my 12 by 12 so that it was a 10 centimetre strip. So it's 10 centimetres that way, and then cut it the other part here as being the 14.3 to use on another card, and then trimmed this down. And I had this bit of paper left. Now probably it's not really one that I would use again, so pop it on the inside of your card. And originally I had it hard up against it. I was going to put it hard up against there, and then I decided no, I will do it so that it's still like that, rather than trimming the designer's paper down to 9.5, which is what the white is. I would just put it over the top, and then just have that little bit of white coming through. It still gives you plenty of room to write your message for the card. But just another way to use up your papers, and that is my aim, is to not think, oh, it's so nice, I can't cut into it, I can't use it, I'm going to use it. So there is our card. And then I have got, so I wanted to keep it light, so this is the Garden epoxy dots, which have Flirty Flamingo, Berry Burst, Blueberry Bushel and Crushed Curry. So I am going to use the Berry Burst, seeing that's what we have got here. So do I put it on the flower or on the paper? Actually, I think I might put it. Hi, Sylvia and Suzanne. No, that's fine. Can watch the replay. And I'm actually going to put one up there. And one over here. I might just move. Oops, come back. Might just put that there so that we've still got our triangle, but it just gives that bit of pop of colour. So there you go. So using vellum as an option to make your papers a little bit lighter, or if the paper is really busy but you still want to use it, it just kind of tones the paper down. And by making sure that you've got lots of white, so you can still see the paper and the colour, so but just those little ones kind of help to soften. So I was part of a team swap, and it was really interesting. Out of the, I think there were 8 of us that were doing it, 5 of the cards are using the Fern and Flora. So this one is
all done in white, and is the technique, I forget what it's called, shadowing or something, where you cut it and then you raise one. I did a card using some designer series paper, but this one is done, it's all on the white, and using the embossing folder, and then having those strips cut, and then putting on some of the ferns. So there's that one, and then here's another one that uses the embossing folder, and the background has been done with multicolours, and then over the top it's got with the raised bit with peaceful pine. So that's another way of using this. And here's one that again has that bit of vellum on the card, so it's not against with the dark, but it just adds a really nice extra layer, but you can still get to see the papers. So I am guessing that this has been stuck down underneath the sentiment here, and probably underneath this bit, so that this part here is still is loose, and so your adhesive it's all covered up by your other elements. And here's another one that's used the so done emboss resist with a bit of the DSP, and again vellum, so that it's not, you can still see the image behind, and it's just a soft. So don't forget to use your vellum, it's really good. And then here's another one where you've got with the darker, but with the light, the panels here of the Golden Glow designer series paper that just lifts, and so that it's, yeah. So lots of options to do with this bundle. So I hope you've enjoyed that and got some little tips that you can use for this. Now I'm just seeing what look at what there's a comment, but I'm just trying to see if I can read it. Okay. I will come back and answer any questions. But yeah, this is a really nice bundle. So if you don't, so it comes as a suite. Where did we have this? It's on page 34, 35 of the new catalogue. So the suite is $184.50, which gets you the bundle, the embossing folder, embossing paper, and the embellishments. So if you want to get everything, you just need to use this one code up here. Or if you want just the bundle, the stamp and the dies, it's this code. There's the one for the embossing folder, the designer series paper, or the embellishments. So you don't have to get everything. You can just get the components that you want. But I hope you've enjoyed that, and have a go with Vellum and have fun. Thanks for joining. Catch you later. Bye.